Have you ever thought about that store or business that doesn't exist today and wish it was still around? We do too. This week, we're going to talk about those stores and businesses we still wish existed today.
Pour the coffee.
Top of the mustache to you, and welcome to another episode of Mustaches and Coffee, where the topic goes, nobody knows. I'm Isaac.
I'm Ben.
Glad to have all you mustache and coffee lovers with us. It's good to see you, my friend. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing okay. I'm a little irked because my drive home today from work involved a lot of people just staying in the fast lane. I have to ask you, when you're stuck behind somebody that decides to not go the speed limit in the fast lane and there's clearly space to get over, how long do you wait? I'm curious, like to just go around them.
Well, just a couple seconds, I'd say.
Just a couple seconds? Okay. It seems like I try to give them the chance to realize, oh, somebody's behind me actually doing the speed limit. I'm need to get over, because whenever I try to go around them, they cut me off. And that was what was happening today. I don't know. I don't know if that's a universal. Yeah, it just seems like a problem. And that's what I was dealing with today. So I don't know. I was just curious. I wanted to get your thoughts on that because it seems like my drives involve a lot more people not understanding what the fast lane means. This is just your public service announcement. If you don't know what the fast lane is, please look it up just so you understand that a little better. So
there was even a song written about it. Life in the fast lane.
Exactly. Listen to the Eagles. You know, your life doesn't have to be in the fast lane, but sometimes it is. Anyway, I'm good otherwise, but I just thought I would ask you that real quick. But I'm excited to talk about what's been going on. So I got to ask you, Ben, what's brewing in your life?
So this week we experienced something that Ohio has not seen in 375 years, I think it is, the total solar eclipse. So me and my wife went up to Possum Creek up in Dayton and got to watch it. There was like 8 people that showed up, which I thought there'd be a lot more people showing up, but that's what's going on so far. I actually have something special. I was in Kroger's the other day and I came across this drink. We're not sponsoring Jones's soda, but I saw this. So this is going to taste interesting. So it's turkey and gravy flavored soda.
Okay. That's different. Really that's for sure.
Yeah. So
I can kind of see the label there. Yeah.
I was waiting to try this. So here's my live reaction of what a turkey and gravy soda Jones soda tastes like.
All right. What do you think?
That's disgusting.
And what were you expecting, right?
It's
that's surprising.
So the best way I can describe it is if you were to take a sock that you wore all day and make like a drink out of it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's just bad.
Okay. There you go. Hey, thank you, Ben. You're a trailblazer for those people that are interested in those kind of drinks. More often than not, I think you're going to be disappointed. That
I was disappointed that it didn't even at least remotely taste like gravy or turkey. It just
a sock is what
it's like a dirty sock.
Oh gosh, is it? Is it bad? I think that's what I would expect if I would try it. I'm glad you were
My
trying it, not me.
It's so bad my eyes are watering. Oh,
Okay.
anywho, I'll be fine.
Well, okay. Well, is there anything else in your life other than an eclipse and
Uh,
interesting drink flavors?
not now that I have to deal with the aftertaste for the rest of the show. I'm doing okay, I guess.
Okay. Well, maybe get some kind of palate cleanser there,
Yeah, I
maybe
got some
some milk,
water. Oh god,
water, yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't recommend that.
Okay. Yeah, there's again warning for anyone that was thinking of trying it, don't. So, well, I've got quite a bit brewed in my life actually. I'm not going to go into everything, but like you mentioned, when there was the eclipse, everybody is, I think, knows about that. It was just really interesting to experience that. But it was actually the day before I happened to go to a convention, Super Sensi convention. So they had a lot of video game theme, just your pop culture kind of thing. But I was able to talk to a lot of vendors and a lot of cool people there, I have to say. Just interesting booths that were set up. There was an individual that he did artwork from Legos where he would paint on Legos and then put the paper on top.
Nice.
And really nice guy. And I'm kicking myself. He has a Etsy page. Um, and I'm really kicking myself on the name. I made a YouTube video on it, so be sure to check it out. It's Ladix Voice is my channel, LADX Voice. If you search that, I have a whole video of all the vendors I talked to because I'd love to mention them all by name. There was one specifically. His name was Hugo, and he dressed up as Waluigi. Really funny guy, really, really funny, and he did all kinds of video game artwork. I had to snag one because he was selling some. So I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
It was a Pokemon. That's my favorite Pokemon is Snorlax. Um, and it's just a little like card, but it's a custom like card. It might be something he just prints out, but I was like, I want to be able to support him. He was a great sport because I was going around and then asking what their favorite mustaches and coffee was. I had to find out. That was just a question I had to ask them. So it was a great time. I had a lot of fun with the family. We all went. So yeah, that's something I can finally bring up. I know for the last few weeks I've just been kind of busy with stuff, but that was actually a pretty eventful, fun thing that I was able to do. So that's pretty much what's been brewing with me, and um, just keeping up with our ideas. I again want to say we're really starting to grow here at Mustaches and Coffee. We've got some ideas, we've got some interviews lined up. We're really excited for them. We can't touch on them yet. We don't want to spoil anything, so just stay tuned. We're excited for that. So that's pretty much what's brewing for me. Before we jump into our main topic, though, we got some fan mail. We want to make sure we give you, the listeners, some shout outs. So, just as a reminder, feel free to message us, email us. We want to be able to acknowledge you guys, give you some shout outs right back at you. So, I'm going to throw it over to Ben. Be sure to give some shout outs here. What's our fan mail we got?
All right, so the fan mail we have is for the episode we did with Weird Mustache Interview. Comes from Kent. He said, "Great episode. Enjoyed hearing about his music. Going to look him up on Spotify." So thank you, Kent, for that. We also got a fan mail from the man himself that we interviewed, Paulinho. Congrats for that episode. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
And
we enjoyed it. We enjoyed it too. Yeah.
And this comes from Penny. She said, "Great episode."
Yeah. Yeah, it was a great episode. Can't thank Weird Mustache enough. Gave us a lot of insight into his world. So again, we thank you so much for being on our podcast.
Yeah. And we have more fan mail from the last episode of the top 5 worst movies we did. This is from a woman by the name Donna Begley Galinta, if I'm saying her name right. Sorry, I butchered that. She wrote, "What fun! Worst movie ever? Avatar. Agony to sit through with plot holes and terrible characterization or lack of it. Very
Mm.
cliche, two-dimensional characters, and we paid a babysitter for this agony." LOL. Thank
I
you, Donna.
gotta, yes, thank you. I have to agree with you. I was one of the people that did not like Avatar as well. I know people really loved it, and
Yeah,
isn't it like the highest grossing movie of all time or something?
it's up there. I think the Avengers movie barely beat them, or they're like tied or something. It's real close.
Yeah. And they might have even done the whole re-release and
Yeah,
technicality. They
probably.
got it back. Point being, everybody saw that movie that I
Yeah.
know of, and everybody seemed to enjoy. It was Dances with Wolves with really good special effects.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
yeah,
The next one comes from S. Damewood 88. Moonfall is probably my top 5. So bad.
I've not seen that, and
Yeah, I've
maybe
seen
that's
it.
a good thing.
The moon crashes into the earth. That's the entire plot.
Well, thank you for that. Any bad movies, I take it as a warning. So thank you for that warning.
Yeah. And then our last one is from New Music Review. The worst movie I've ever saw was directed by one of the best directors, and it had an amazing cast, but was just dreadful. A movie called North, and it was one of the first movies I ever saw in theaters. I haven't seen
Yeah.
that one.
That I remember watching growing up, actually, and looking back, it is kind of, I don't know. It had Elijah Wood. He was the main character as North. You had Jason Alexander as the father, and Julie Louis Dreyfus was the mother too. So they totally went in on the Seinfeld thing. But Scarlett Johansson was in that, I believe. I'm
Huh.
going off of the top of my head, but yeah, there was some stars that were either big at the time or went on to be really big. But it's kind of universally panned. So yeah, I think a lot of
Yeah, I've
people
never seen
agree
it.
with you on that. It's been years since I've seen it. I don't know how I would look at it now. Maybe I look up some clips and see. But yeah, thank you for that. That's a great pick. I think a lot of people again would agree with you on that. So again, we got to give you everyone who wrote in. Thank you for writing us, messaging us. We want to make sure we give acknowledgments to you there. One more quick announcement before we jump into the main topic. We have a contest going on. We had that on the episode previously. But Ben, is there a deadline for this contest? So if anyone wants to still enter, is there a time frame that they have?
Yes, just as a reminder, we're giving away a golden Jurassic Park egg. It comes to an end May 3rd. We're going to announce the winner on our social platform. So stay tuned. You got about 2 weeks left. So again, comment your favorite movie line, favorite movie quote, and we will pick a winner.
Great. All right. So get your entry in now. Don't delay. That will wrap things up for our intro. Let's go ahead and jump into our main topic. Businesses seem to come and go, but some are beloved and unfortunately don't exist anymore. So we thought, let's reminisce and think about those businesses we still miss to this day. So I'm going to start with you, Ben. Just simply put, what's a business that, for whatever reason, it went out of business? Maybe they relocated. What's a business that you still wish existed today?
So one of my favorite toy stores of the 90s, people may remember them because they would always have a standout in the aisleway that would have these like balls on them that would have like a foxtail. You could play with them. That store was KB Toys, and they went out of
Mm,
business a while back. I don't know exactly when they ended, but they had all the toys. And I
mhm.
remember one was up in the Dayton Mall here in Ohio, and just a great store. They just had everything.
Yeah. I I know a lot of people that actually preferred that over a lot of other toy stores. I'm not going to
Yeah.
mention them because that was another one of my picks we'll get into. But yeah, there's so many people that that's where they wanted to go as a kid. You know, the like the saying goes, a kid in a candy store or a toy store. KB Toys, I remember that. What what I'm trying to think. What was like the theme? Didn't they have like a theme about it, or did they just kind of go with what the trend was at the time?
I guess it depends on which store. The one I remember that was up at the mall, I don't remember them having a theme. I just remember these long shelves that were really high up and toys from bottom to top. Maybe they had a theme at one time, but I don't quite remember though. I don't know if
Yeah,
you remember that.
I like I said, I probably went to other toy stores. I liked KB Toys. I just didn't go into it, visit as much as others, but it seemed
Yeah.
like there was some kind of theme, and that was probably just that one time I went. But it seemed like it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or um, whatever the big cartoon. It seemed like it was a cartoon. My memory's just not as good as it used to be, unfortunately. But like I said, I didn't go into KB Toys as much. I still really liked it, though. I mean, what kid didn't like, right? That's a
Yeah.
great pick. Yeah. So I guess my first pick, I would go with a store called Media Play, and it had everything. It
That is familiar.
It had DVD, at the time, I remember there's VHS, but when DVDs started to really become new and they were the hot tech, you had your DVDs, they had CDs, vinyl, posters. It's a lot like FYE music, but bigger.
Okay, yeah.
Just a random variety of stuff. And they had a lot of kiosks for at the time. You had Nintendo 64, you had PlayStation and PlayStation 2. So there's like a gaming area dedicated to it. They had a movie area that was dedicated. They had a whole sound system area for like your TV entertainment. It was just a really fun store to go into. Again, like FYE, but I don't know,
Yeah.
it had its own charm. It had its own character to it, I guess. And that's just something I miss. Nothing against FYE. And I think sadly that store is starting to kind of go
Yeah.
out of business too, like a lot of stores. But it's just, I don't know. I really do miss Media Play because it was, you could go there and whatever you need, it was there. Movie, CD, music. It had everything in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's those are really good stores. One that I have that I actually totally forgot about till recently. It was kind of to compete with the Disney stores. Remember those?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
there was a WB store
Yeah.
that they had. So it was all the cartoons, Looney Tunes, Batman, all the stuff you would see like at a Disney store, but it was a WB store. I miss those.
Yes. Yeah, man, that takes me back because I remember those, but it wasn't until you mentioned it because they had the Disney store
Yeah.
and exactly what you said. It was just a carbon copy of it, but it was
Yeah.
WB. And it seems like I remember they had a glass figure of Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck. I
Yeah.
remember there's a big Bugs
Mm-hmm.
Bunny but I
Yeah.
remember going in there. It's just one of those core memories or whatever that you mentioned that. So yeah, that's a great pick. I missed that too, for sure. So, well, I will switch it up a little bit. I'll go to a restaurant that I miss. This restaurant was called Friendly's,
Yeah.
and it has a lot of nostalgia for me because as a kid, we would go there on certain occasions, and they would get the kids Sunday, And what that was is it was kind of like a banana split, kind of like in that kind of a dish. It was a long dish, and it was, I want to say, 2 or 3 scoops of vanilla ice cream. They took Reese's Pieces and put it on the for their eyes. And this is where it gets a little blurry. I'm trying to remember what else was the face, but it made a face like whipped cream was on the side for its hair.
Yeah,
And
I remember that.
yeah, and then it took the sugar cone on top like a hat.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just, as a kid, it's just, oh, this is really cool. And it was just certain occasions we would go. So for me, that kind of, it's like, oh, they're not around. It's a sad. I I guess I probably would order one for myself even as an adult now, but it's that whole, it's just sad that it's not there. I can't take my kids to do it because it meant a lot to me as a kid. Anyways, is that one that you remember? You said it seemed like you did.
Yeah, so it's in line with food. I do remember Friendlies. There was one up at the mall that me and my wife went when we first got married, and it closed shortly after, but got to experience it a little bit. So, but yeah, that was good memory. They had good ice cream. I miss that.
Yeah, their food was good. I mean, that's what I remember was the
Yeah.
ice cream, but their food was pretty good too. So, but that's my other pick. How about you? What's another pick?
So they aren't all closed. They I actually haven't been to one since I was since I was a kid. So they originally started out with 700 locations. They're down to 16 remaining. Ponderosa, or as
Ah,
some people say, Pondegrosa.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
if whoever's not ever been there, it's as a kid, I remember you had a like salad bar, and I would always get a plate of cheesecake with chicken wings
Okay.
and like a
Yeah.
bunch of other stuff. But they had good food. Apparently, there's one in Hillsboro, Ohio. So maybe we might have to make a road trip and do a live tasting. Hint, hint.
I like where you're going with that. We might have to do a live episode where we try out Ponderosa. It's been years since I've
Yeah.
had it, but yes, that is one. Growing up, we would pop into one every once in a while. Yeah, just like you said, it was a buffet.
Yeah.
So I think it goes without saying. Did you know? Fun fact about Ponderosa: it was based off of the TV show Bonanza.
That makes sense now.
Yeah,
That makes sense
because
now. Okay.
there was an actual restaurant named Bonanza, and they started Ponderosa as a competitor.
Mm.
And again, that's a part of the show, Ponderosa. Like you can, if you've ever seen Bonanza, there's a map and it's burning, and right in the center is Ponderosa. So yeah, I always wondered what that name came from, just out of curiosity, and happened to stumble upon it. So yeah, fun fact. There you go. That's
There
if you
you
ever
go.
wondered. But yeah, that's a good pick. I do miss it, but like you said, maybe we'll have to check it out. So it's not
Yeah.
gone forever. At least it's
Yeah.
still somewhere. But yeah, it's not local anymore. So my next pick is kind of a I wish I did more research on this. I know it was local here in Ohio, but it was a place called All About Sports. And to
Yeah.
simply
Yeah. Yeah.
put, it was a sports store. But I think what rings for me and what I miss is the jingle. I remember that commercial playing constantly. It's just it would do the neon lights because it was back in the 90s. All about sports, but someone would shout all about sports like that.
Yeah.
For some reason that's in my head to this day. Like I'll just, that's how my brain works. I'm just randomly doing something and it's just like all about sports. I'm just, that's what those jingles do to you. We had a whole episode on commercial jingles. I don't know why I didn't bring that one up, but yeah, I do miss it though. It was a really cool sports store for its time. We got one of those golf putters where it returns it back to you. I remember we
Oh yeah.
went in and
Yeah.
got that. So that, it's pure nostalgia, but I do miss it. So that's my next pick there. How about you? How about what's another pick?
So I hope I'm not stealing your thunder, but Discovery Zone.
Yes. Yes.
That was a
Yeah.
great For those who don't know what Discovery Zone was, it was big in the 90s. It's basically a excuse me, obstacle course of balls and like plastic balls that you would see like in a play place at McDonald's or whatever. But they had a bunch of obstacles and things you could climb on and everything. So yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. That's why I go, I miss that with a passion. Just that's one that hits hard, because when they closed it, oh man, so many childhood memories there. And I could go on, but I will say one funny story. What was so cool about it is it like you said, it was obstacle course, but they had these ballrooms. Like you had to climb up, and think about like your play place at a McDonald's, how there's the netting and you have to go through these tunnels. They had that, but I want to say there was like, I don't know, at least 2 to 3 ballrooms. That's all it was. And you could jump into them. Well, anyway, I was in one of these ballrooms and I was trying to climb up, and I lost my balance halfway up, and this girl is climbing next to me, and I'm just falling backwards, and I grabbed her and pulled her backwards, and we both fell back into
That's awesome.
the ball pit. I mean, we weren't like really, really high up, but we were, I don't know, maybe like 3-4 feet up. And as a kid, that's like, feels like you're falling off of a building. But
yeah,
I still have that memory though. It was just an accident. You're just grabbing something because you're falling, and I happened to grab her, and I felt terrible. And she started throwing balls at me, like, why did you do that? And she was so mad. I'm just like, I'm sorry. I'm trying to apologize. But, it was just an accident. But yeah, I could go on and on. Yeah, I really miss Discovery Zone. I had so much fun with that. I argue it was better than Chuck E. Cheese. I don't know.
Oh, absolutely. There's no comparison. Yeah.
I mean, Chuck E. Cheese was more on the arcade side, but I don't know. If my parents asked, would you rather go to Chuck E. Cheese or Discovery Zone? It was it was DC at Discovery Zone every time, without a doubt. So great pick,
especially if you had kids that were hopped up on sugar. Just release them.
That was the place to go for that. Yes, it really was. It was just. Oh, I can't go on enough about it. I'm like gushing about it, but it's just, man, I'd be so weird if they still existed and went there,
dirty old man. What are you doing here?
It's just so much fun, man. It's just, oh man, that just unlocks so much nostalgia for me. So,
absolutely.
Great pick there. I agree. So, my next one is not what is the popular video rental store, but actually a less known. It was still a popular one, but it was Hollywood Video.
Oh yeah.
And along with that, they had Game Crazy. So they split off its own section for games. And the Game Crazy was actually really good, because you think about GameStop, it was EB Games. I think they got bought out and just became GameStop. Everybody knows they just rip you off. You could buy a brand new game system and they'll give you like $10 for it if you try to trade it in.
Oh, absolutely.
But Game Crazy, I remember trading stuff in, and it was decent. Like they had to make their money back, but it wasn't like they were ripping you off. I think I traded in maybe a game that would be 6 months to a year old, so fairly new, and I'd still get like $30 back on it. So I could practically get a new game, a used game with that. I just miss that type of a place that you don't feel like you're getting ripped off a lot, trade in and stuff. But I don't know, what were you more of a Blockbuster guy, or did you have another video rental that you guys would go to?
So, and where I grew up in Lebanon, Ohio, there was a Blockbuster. So pretty much all my memories was there. I can't remember I've been to the family videos, but I don't remember exactly where those locations were. But yeah, all Blockbuster. That's where we went all the time. That's the place to get the videos.
Yeah. There was more Blockbusters, I think, than Hollywood Videos. So that makes sense. But I don't know. I like Blockbuster too. It's just we had Hollywood Video like down the street. So
Oh,
that
okay.
was our place to go. And before that, years before, we had an IGA, and it was just their rental. They didn't have
Yeah.
a name for it. It was just kind of a area. So that was what I grew up with. But Blockbuster we also had at another time as well. And that's another full of memories. But I had to give a shout out to Hollywood Video. It seems like it's
Yeah.
kind of forgotten. You don't hear it as much. So
Yeah.
that's my other pick for sure.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
always get Hollywood Video, Family Video, the kind of clash. There was actually a Family Video in Kettering, Ohio, that actually just closed down like a year and a half ago. It was still
Uh,
working, which was interesting after all these years.
yeah. They kind of survived, Blockbuster Hollywood Video went out first, and then it's like Blockbuster held on there, and then they just couldn't last after Netflix. And then Family Video, I don't know what they did, but you would still see them. I think, did yours
Yeah.
have a Little Caesars combo with it?
The one that was over here, I don't think it did.
Okay. Yeah, there's a bunch that I know that had that, so I don't know if that helped their cause that they partnered up with Little Caesars, but I don't know. I that's still sad to hear. It's that part of us, we're used to go into a video store and you browse the selection. The trick was, if they didn't have it available, you would go up to the front desk and ask if anybody returned it. That was a little trick. Not everybody.
Oh, yeah,
knew
yeah.
that. Like,
Yep.
so sometimes there was one time we were there and talking to the person, and I saw through the slot somebody had just so happened to look for, I think it was a movie or something we were looking for. So I don't
That's
know.
mine.
Yeah. Different times, now you just go online. I mean, it's great. Don't get me wrong. You don't have the hassle of having to leave the house, but you I don't know. I kind of miss that a little bit. So, but yeah. That's my pick, though. How about you? What's another pick you have?
So this one went out, I think like 2015, 2014. Radio Shack.
Yeah.
My sister actually, shout out to Amy, my older sister. She worked at Radio Shack for, I want to say like 3 or 4 years. I could be wrong, but every 6 months she had to drive to Kentucky for like continual training. But I mean, if you needed a random part, it's basically Amazon before Amazon. If you needed something, you could go hardware stuff. But what's interesting, so there's the Middletown Mall that's in Middletown. It's complete. It's still open. I went in there like last year randomly. It's still open. You can go in there. It's like a time capsule. They still have their old Radio Shack sign up. No, there's no businesses in there, but you can like go in there. I don't know why it's even open, but yeah, it's kind of interesting.
That is interesting. But I love that. Have you ever seen those YouTube videos where they go to like abandoned amusement parks? And I don't know why I get addicted to those. They're so interesting, fascinating to me.
Yeah, they still have like a cafeteria from like the 80s in there. So you could like see the old cafeteria and everything. Yeah, I don't know why it's not demolished or anything, but it's still open to the public, but there's no stores in there.
Wow. So this is kind of sidetracking, but I think you'll appreciate this. I'll have to send this article to you. I saw that in Alaska, they have not updated the McDonald's. It's like, I want to say it's near a military base or something. It's so secluded and on its own, but this McDonald's, they have not updated it since Jurassic Park came out.
Oh, wow.
So the menu and everything, it still has Jurassic Park. So yeah, I'll send it to you. I thought you'd appreciate that. And why I didn't send it to you before, I don't know, but I just thought of that. Oh, it was like I want to say it was an article, and they even showed the person like getting pictures or video or something. I don't know. I'll look it up again for you. But yeah, that kind of stuff fascinates me when you look at, like amusement parks and all this stuff. You could tell there's all this activity, and now there's like shrubs and grass growing where there used to be. I don't know why. That's just
Yeah,
really cool to me. Yeah.
I think it's taken over too. I'm just curious if that McDonald's had Jurassic Park toys at the time. I don't
I
remember if they released any, but like that would be cool to find one in the store with
oh yeah.
the
Oh yeah. Yeah, they had
fanboying
the
here.
they had like cups, special edition cups or something. And that I don't know if they were that great. Maybe they were
Yeah.
still plastic. They weren't glass, but I know they had like your theming stuff. So there's the menu and then to the side it's advertising or something. But yeah, I'll send it to you. It's really
Okay.
cool. It's really neat. So
Sweet.
what you're talking about with Radio Shack, how they kind of kept it the same, that would probably be interesting to me to have you're able to still go in it. That's really cool and
Yeah,
interesting.
interesting fact real quick. So in Lebanon where I grew up, there was Blockbuster and next to it was Radio Shack, which was
Mm,
awesome. And they're both not there anymore. So
yeah, that's sad. Well, but I still remember those though. That's what we have, right? We have the memories to hold on to. So I'm surprised we haven't touched on this. I think this would be like the first thing people think about. Um, but I gotta say, Toys R Us. That's
yeah.
just goes without saying. And I know that they're in talks to bring it back, and I think it's in certain places like New York, but it's not going to be the same. It's going to be in a Macy's, if I'm not mistaken, or some other.
I heard something like that.
Yeah, it's not going to be its own store, so
Yeah.
it's just not going to be the same. I'm
No.
talking the Toys R Us, the store that you go to, and oh man, this is another one I have so many memories of. I won't go there. It just simply put, it went with the tagline, where a kid can be a kid. You walked into one as a kid, it just felt like you were in another world. There
Oh
were
yeah.
just so many cool things. They had everything there, and I man, I miss it so much. Do you remember like before they divided the video games? Because it wasn't it like our zone was the video game area.
Yeah. I believe so. They had like a separate area that I think was called our zone or something like that. And it was away. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of liked it before. I thought that was cool, but I liked it before. Do you remember it before that?
A little bit. I didn't go sad to say I didn't go to Toys R Us that much just because it was like 25 minutes away from where I actually lived was the closest one.
Yeah,
I did go quite a bit when I was a kid, but wish I would have gone more, but
yeah, yeah. It just I don't know. To me, they had it in its own aisles, and we kind of touched on it in our gaming episode, but just there's something about that memory of you had to get the tag off of the games that you wanted, and you had to take it up, and a person would get it in the back room. I don't know. Just something about that was a special. It was an experience, and I just miss that. You don't get that anymore. Again, everything's digital. You can
Mhm.
just download games, and if you go to the store, like I went recently because I wanted to get a physical copy of the game, and the person was just like, "I hate my job. I don't want to be here. What do you want? Why didn't you download this thing? Why do you want the physical copy?" It's just like, this is an experience. This is just, I made someone's day worse, I guess. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't very special. So, but yeah, that I really miss Toys R Us though. It's, um, I have kids of my own. I know they'd have a ball
Yeah.
there, but unfortunately, even if it comes back, it's just not going to be the same. That's just
No.
how I feel about it. So, but yeah, we
Something
got
you talked on, just to share one brief, another one I had, you talked on McDonald's, but apparently there's still 150 left, but the McDonald's that
really,
would appear in Walmart, do you remember those?
yeah,
Something
yeah.
about their food was different than the other McDonald's. I don't know what they did. I just remember that it tasted different and it tasted better. Maybe it was just fresh. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, they actually use fresher ingredients would be the term.
Yeah.
They're like Subways now, aren't they? Anymore?
Yeah, it's all Subways, but yeah, I don't know, something about the
Yeah,
McDonald's just in Walmart. I
yeah.
miss them.
It's not the same.
No.
No, I agree. But yeah, we got some good picks there. That's taking me back. Man, those were the times to have businesses and the like. So maybe real quick, is there any honorable mentions or other picks real quick that you had?
Yeah, I'll just read a couple. Kmart,
Yeah.
Payless Shoes, uh,
Yeah.
Discovery. It was like the actual Discovery Channel had their own store, like science stuff. Stephen Barry's.
Okay. I
It
faintly
was like
remember those.
they had clothes you could get for like $8, and they closed down because their clothes were just too cheap, but they were
Yeah.
great quality.
They were not too legit to quit, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. But the fun thing is, I learned after researching all this. So if anybody wants to go back in time, search on YouTube shopping videos of a specific year or whatever, or stores. They will show like Toys R Us back in the 90s, people shopping, or like Radio Shack, what it was like to shop. So there's like a endless loophole or endless pool of videos on YouTube. So go find those,
Oh
enjoy
yeah.
them.
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoy those too. Yeah, great picks there. The only other thing I was going to mention, I know there was others, but we kind of touched on a lot of them. This is kind of cheating a little bit because they obviously still exist, but it's just, I guess, how it used to be. I miss fast food in general, but Wendy's fast food. The reason I say that is they were like the cream of the crop to me. Like, just they had great service. The food was fresher. They had good size because they've just shrunk over the years, and then of course charge you more. But they also had biggie size
for a meal.
Seriously, yeah. It's just so expensive anymore. But they had a biggie size. They had, I don't know, there's just different. When Dave Thomas was still around, it felt like it had quality.
Quality was
and
a much better.
Yeah, I don't know. So I know that's cheating a little bit, but I don't view Wendy's today as the same Wendy's. I miss the good quality Wendy's specifically, and that goes for a lot of fast food. I'm just taking Wendy's as an example because I remember they just had one of the best burgers you could get, and anymore, when I've tried it, I've just been disappointed. Unfortunately, yeah,
I kind of missed that amber cover they had, like the sunroom. Remember that?
Fun fact: the Wendy's by me still has one. Yeah,
seriously,
so,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so I think we've got a road trip planned here. We got Ponderosa, and you get to come up and my way. We'll go to the Wendy's. I'll forewarn you, like I said, the service is not great though. It's not going to be the same. So you have to take out but you know what? Just put that out of sight, out of mind. Just go there to eat in a sunroom. You can say, I finally got to eat in the sunroom again. So yeah, that does it. For you, the listeners, we want to hear any stores or businesses that you miss. There's so many, unfortunately, that have gone the way of the dodo bird. They're just, extinct, gone forever. So yeah, email us, message us, any businesses you wish were still around today. So let's go ahead and move into our last segment.
Last drop.
Brought to you by coffee. Take it away, Ben.
Have you been ignoring your houseplants? They may be filling your house with deafening clicks, but these are too high for your ear to hear, scientists have found. It turns out that plants actually make a screaming noise when they are in need of water or are being cut. Humans usually hear about to 16 kilohertz, but these sounds are mostly between 40 and 80 kilohertz. It's possible that these noises can help some animals like bats, moths, or mice get a sense of the condition of the plant and of the plant species. So don't be going around hurting your plants, otherwise they may scream at you. That's what I got.
Yeah, interesting. I know grass, when it's cut, that smell is some kind of defensive chemical they release, and
Didn't know that.
I don't know. Yeah, so plants have feelings, people. Remember that. If you hear that little pitch, that's them screaming. That's kind of sad. But thank you for that very important bit of information for us. We'll never look at plants the same. So okay, well, let's make sure before we wrap things up, we do our due diligence. So Ben, where can people find us at?
Yes, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Stash and Joe. If you have any questions or comments, you can message us on our social platforms, or you could email us at mustachesandcoffee@yahoo.com. And make sure when you subscribe to us, wherever you get your podcast, to ring the notification bell. That way, when we upload new episodes, you will be notified of when that episode drops. That's how you can get a contact of us.
Great. Thank you for that. And just again, if you don't mind, if you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. That will help more people find us. So this was a fun episode, Ben.
Yeah.
But, we can't bring back these old businesses, so we can only just kind of reflect on the fun memories we have. So that'll pretty much do it for now. But as we always say, don't bash the stash.
I need espresso for the depresso.
Goodbye, everybody.